In this video, we're going to get into 4 techniques of how you can improve your mind's focus that I've personally used in my life and I know can work for you too. But firstly, let's just talk about why should you even care about improving your focus? Well, anything that you want to achieve in life will require your focus. If you have a dream, maybe it's a goal you have, maybe it's an image of the type of person you want to become in your head, maybe it's starting a business or completing a degree, whatever it is, all of these things will only come into reality if you have focus. Because whatever it is that we focus on in life is what you will become. If you're fit and healthy right now, that's because you focused on eating well and working out. Who you are today is either the result of what you focused on or the lack of focus you have had. And so in one way, you could argue that our focus is essentially one of the most important things in our life. Because if you don't have control of your own focus, then you actually don't have control of your life. Because it is our focus that will get us to where we want to be in our life. But lots of us seem to struggle, don't we? I know I certainly did in the past. So let's get into 4 ways you can improve your mind's focus, which in turn will make you more in control of your own life. Number 1, reduce your screen time or social media usage. One of the biggest time wasters nowadays is scrolling on our phones. The average screen time per day is estimated to be around 6 hours and 40 minutes, which is crazy. That's literally more than half of the day and your time that is being invested into a screen. And so if you really want to improve your focus, then you're going to have to get serious about reducing your phone time and actually get clarity on what is important to you. Is it more important to see the latest TikTok and what's going on online? Or is it more important to study for that course that you really care about? You need to get clarity on what truly matters to you, minimize the outside noise, and then just zone in on the thing that you want to achieve. Because here's the thing, not only is going on your phone wasting so much of your time that you could be investing elsewhere, but the actual act of exposing your mind to constant distraction is literally training your brain to not focus. To put it very simply, our brains have the ability to adapt and change, and this is also known as neuroplasticity. And basically how this works is that when we repeat a behavior again and again, we actually change our brain and we create new neural pathways in our brains which actually strengthen with every time we repeat the behavior. And so what happens is we're scrolling on our phones and we're getting email, so we check that email, and then suddenly our friends messaged us, so we got to get back to them. But then we open YouTube and we get scrolling on the videos. Suddenly we've watched 10 videos within 1 minute, but then we go back to our email to reply to that and our friend has messaged us back. And when we do this often and expose our minds to that constant distraction, that constant flipping between different things, the repetition of doing this behavior literally strengthens our neural pathways to not focus. So one of the first steps to improving our focus is that you need to get away from this by reducing your social media usage and reducing your phone time. I have just recently made a video on how to quit your social media addiction, so go check that out if you struggle with that. Now, number 2 is meditation. And I know, I just heard you sigh. I heard you. You were about to click off the video, weren't you? But just hear me out for 2 minutes, okay? And you can either decide that, okay, maybe I'll try it, or you can decide to block me and never see my face again. But as we just discussed about social media, how the constant behavior at looking at constant distractions all the time forms new neural pathways and literally trains us to not focus, well, it also works the other way around too. Just how our brains learn how to not focus by repeating a same behavior, we can also once again change our neural pathways, teaching our brain to focus by doing a different behavior again and again. And so if we wanted to improve our mind's focus, what would the opposite of constant distraction be? The opposite would be to focus solely on one thing. And this is where meditation comes in, because meditation is literally a training for the mind. Just like how we train our bodies in the gym, meditation is like training our minds how to focus. But does anybody go to the gym for the first time, go in, do a workout, and then come out and they've got the 6-pack and they're in the best shape of their lives? No, they have to train, and it takes going to the gym consistently and repeating that behavior again and again and again. And meditation works in the same way. Are we going to be able to focus after the first session? No. Are we going to be able to focus after the second session? No. It takes consistent repetition as you are training your mind, just as if you were training your body in the gym. One of the most common misunderstandings I hear people say about meditation is, well, I can't clear my mind, so it's not working for me. Or, well, I've tried meditation and it didn't work because I couldn't focus. That's literally the equivalent of saying, I went into the gym for the first time and I came out and I didn't have a six-pack. Meditation isn't about clearing your mind, it's about increasing your awareness, which is also going to help your focus. And you getting distracted during your session, maybe you're thinking about dinner, you're thinking about this problem you have, you're thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow, that is literally part of the meditation session. It doesn't mean you fail the meditation session, it literally is the whole point of the meditation session. Because now you realize your mind has wandered and you bring yourself back to the present moment, and that right there, that moment right there, is when you are training your mind how to focus. That right there is the equivalent of doing 1 rep in the gym. You're strengthening your mind's muscles, you're training your mind to focus. And honestly, you only need to start with 5 minutes a day. That's not asking much at all. 5 minutes of your day to just dedicate to doing a session. And I can guarantee by a month, you will probably notice some differences in your life. Here's a few apps on the screen that you can even get started with. And by the way, these 2 points that I've said so far, reducing social media and meditation, I hope you can see that they do go hand in hand. It's kind of logical to be trying to teach your mind how to focus and doing a meditation session, but then also going on your phone for hours of the day and teaching your brain how to not focus. You can't expect your mind to focus if you're also teaching it not to focus. So I do believe these 2 methods both need to be worked on. Number 3, write out to-do lists every day. Honestly, I do this every day. I can't remember the last time I haven't had a to-do list. But here's just a few screenshots on the screen of my simple to-do lists that I just make in my phone notes. And that help me keep on track and keep me focused towards my end goal. Because essentially what to-do lists are is you're creating a small plan which gets you to your bigger plan. Like whatever goal you have or whatever you want to achieve, maybe it's studying that course or getting into that university. You want to get clear on your goal and then you want to start working backwards and breaking things down into steps. And depending on whatever your goal is, this will mean breaking it down into either years, months, weeks, and days. We need to break things down as little as possible so that we can start making the steps towards reaching that goal. Because it's all good to have a goal in your mind, but if you don't have a plan on how you're going to get there, then how are you going to achieve it? And the reason writing to-do lists will help you focus is because every day you will know what you need to do in order to make a step towards that bigger picture. Like, let's just take the example of someone who wants to run a marathon. You don't go from being a beginner to running a marathon the next day. You have to plan it. Start breaking it down into months, into weeks, and then by days. And that's where our to-do lists come in because they help us focus on what to get done in that day. So now, because you have a plan, you already know that by next Tuesday, you're going to have to run that 5K because you've got it down in your plan. So let's imagine it's the night before that Tuesday and you get out your to-do list. It's good to think ahead and be like, when am I going to do this tomorrow? How am I going to fit this in? Actually, tomorrow it's my mom's birthday, so maybe I should put the 5K in the morning to get it done because then by the afternoon, I probably won't get it done. Doing a to-do list ahead of time allows us to prepare for the next day. It allows us to plan our day well and fit it around our other life commitments and helps us to prioritize what's important, which keeps us focused and helps us to get towards our bigger goal. So I highly recommend writing to-do lists of things you need to do the next day that is just one step closer to getting where you need to be. I just wanted to pause the video for 20 seconds to let you know I have created a free actionable workbook designed to help you if you're feeling stuck in your life or feeling like you don't know how to make changes. I've created a step-by-step process which I have done myself to make changes in my life that I think can help you too. If that seems of any interest to you, click the link in the description of this YouTube video or head to my website wellnessofthemind.com. Thank you so much. And number 4 is creating deadlines. Similar to creating our to-do lists, creating deadlines for ourselves actually helps our mind to focus. There's this concept called Parkinson's law, which basically means that work expands to fill the time available for completion. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who wrote that definition, but it's really bad. Like, that makes no sense to me at all. But basically what this theory means is, say you have an essay due in 2 weeks, the chances are very high that you're going to wait until the end of those 2 weeks to finish doing the essay, even if you could have done it way before. When we give ourselves deadlines or a set time to complete a task, our brains then tend to look for ways for us to make that happen within that set time. Like if you had an essay suddenly due in the next 4 days, the chances are that you would get that essay due in the next 4 days because you have a tight deadline. But when we have a deadline of like 3 weeks away, it's like, yeah, I got some time. I'll get to it. I have 3 weeks. Creating our own deadlines helps us to focus as it makes us act sooner than if we didn't have them. And honestly, I've seen how this has worked for my own life, and it's so funny how once we have a deadline on something, how we suddenly deem what is important to us and what isn't. Like suddenly those Netflix shows aren't a priority. Suddenly going out to have drinks with your friends isn't a priority because now you have a deadline for this task you need to do, so it makes you act sooner and focus on what's important. So these are the 4 methods that I have personally done in my life. Improving your focus does take some time and patience. You might not be able to improve your focus overnight, but at the end of the day, if you use these tools, I guarantee they will help you too. I hope this video could have helped in some way, and thank you so much for watching.